And just wanted to let everybody know we are going to go ahead and get started. As I indicated when we first jumped on here, this is Patrick and I's first webinar together and the first time using Zoom webinar. So appreciate your patience as we get this started. Welcome to our search engine, or excuse me, search generative experience with Google webinar, where we are going to guide you through a discussion about what's happening with the use of AI and its impact on search. Joining me this morning is Patrick Scott. He is our lead digital SEO strategist at Fruition. He's been here for 3 years, coming up on 3 years, and he brings to this discussion and to Fruition over 7 years of SEO experience. He's also very well versed in Google, not only from the search aspect, but also with their other tools and Google Analytics. He's got a super analytical mind, speaking of analytics, which really has benefited him as well as our clients and Fruition in terms of just how he approaches his SEO strategies. And without further ado, I also liken it to, with Patrick, Google's, the algorithm updates are like his Newman to Jerry Seinfeld. They are like something that it's like his nemesis, and he's always trying to outsmart it and always try to overcome it. So without further ado, I'm going to let Patrick Scott take it from here, and he's going to walk you through our webinar. So welcome, Patrick.
Thank you, Lynn, and thank you for the wonderful introduction. Yeah, I'm really excited to go over this. This is something that is very close and important to us and what we do at Fruition, and really excited to educate everyone on generative AI, its impact on SEO and some strategies that we can take away from this. So without further ado, yeah, so really quick, we're going to look, quick introduction. I want to provide a brief, overview and understanding of AI and, these language models, the current impact on SEO, some future trends and what to expect, and then lastly, some actionable strategies. So first off, why should we even care about this? AI is rapidly shifting the way we approach digital marketing. It's not just for tech giants anymore. AI tools like ChatGPT, Google Gemini, GPT, which you'll hear us reference later, are changing the game for everyone involved in digital strategy, from agencies to in-house to individual business owners. With that being said, it's here to stay, and so we need to get used to it, right? We need to learn how to use it to benefit us. Excuse me. There's a rising influence of AI in the digital marketing world. The growth role of AI is increasingly becoming a core part of how search engines operate and how users interact with content. It's impacting all of us across various different roles, from SEOs to marketers to individual business owners. AI-driven search means there's new opportunities and new challenges as well. And the purpose of this webinar is, as I mentioned, we want to give you all this background information so that you're going to be able to take away some actionable strategies and apply these, to your clients, to your businesses, and be able to take advantage of this really cool new technology. Oops, sorry, keep going. So, first off, what are AI large language models? AI large language models are, there are large language models such as ChatGPT and Google Gemini. They're advanced algorithms that are trained to understand and generate human-like text. They've been trained on and continue to learn from vast amounts of data, allowing them to predict, complete, and generate language in ways that feel conversational and intelligent. For anyone who ever's, I'm sure everyone on this call has at least, experimented with ChatGPT or Gemini. It's like talking to a person, maybe not the smartest person all the time, but it's still that conversation. Generative AI is an overlap of a number of bigger fields, including machine learning, deep learning, human language, and natural language processing. Training data sets, there's hundreds and hundreds of them, but one of the more popular ones and well known is Wikipedia. That was used to train the ChatGPT models, along with a bunch of other things. Large language models aren't just for the tech curious. They're actively reshaping how how search engines work and how users are interacting that. And we're seeing that already across, through some of our clients and just through the SEO and digital marketing landscape. And I think it's important to note that we don't need to be experts in AI. We don't need to truly understand large language models. But it is important for us to understand how we can utilize them to benefit our businesses. So how are some common ways that large language models are used today? Content creation and optimization. That's a key one, especially for us at Fruition. AI tools like ChatGPT are helping streamline that content creation from blog posts to social media, emails, and all things that are under that realm. They're improving search results, and we'll show some examples of this in a little bit, but AI models are able to, or they help search engines better understand search intent. This allows them to deliver more relevant and personalized results. This impacts how content is ranked and how content is displayed. And ChatGPT and other large language models are even used to help improve customer interactions. There's AI-driven chatbots that can engage with customers, answer queries, and offer that 24/7 support. This, in theory, can help improve user experience, freeing up human resources. There's also some challenges with this that we'll also talk on. Some other really powerful ways that we use, or I use, AI is, content creation, content brainstorming, sentiment analysis, categorization. I'll even use AI to help create prompts to use AI even more efficiently, which we'll also touch on a little bit. Writing and debugging code. I'm not a developer. However, I've used, GPT and other tools to help write little scripts that, for tracking purposes or other items are really useful. And then image creation to a degree. Obviously, hands and fingers are still a little weird, but it can be really useful. And like I said, generative AI is a great tool. It's not going away. This is the future. However, it's far from perfect. Generative AI, excuse me, results are prone to biases, misinformation, and exaggerations. And here's 3 examples that range from funny, unfortunate, and quite frankly, terrible. So my earlier reference to the chatbot, Air Canada had to honor a refund policy that its chatbot made up on the spot. So as you can see, that's a huge, huge concern, especially for something like that. On the bottom right-hand side, Gemini suggested that we add non-toxic glue to help pizza cheese or prevent pizza cheese from sliding off. And then at the top, the terrible one is, I'm feeling depressed, and it says you should jump off the Golden Gate Bridge. Obviously, that is a terrible, terrible recommendation, especially for someone in that mental state. So I, provide these examples to note that generative AI is great. It can help us be more efficient. It can help us, start on second base, so to speak. But it needs to be edited. It needs to be reviewed. You cannot take what it says. You can't take what it says at heart. You need to look into it and research it and edit it and make sure that it is perfect. Next is, how will AI impact search engines and SEO? With algorithms now prioritizing content that aligns closely with user intent, search engines will favor pages that directly answer conversational or complex search queries or just keywords. This will likely lead to a rise in what's called a zero-click search. While crafting and engaging content has always been important for SEO, it's becoming even more vital now. There was a study put out by Gartner in February of this year, predicting that search engine volume will drop by 25% by 2026 due to AI chatbots and other virtual agents. This is one of those challenges that we talked about. It's going to be harder to rank. The older tactics of writing a simple 500-word blog post and publishing that aren't too effective. Blogging is still an effective strategy, but there's a way that we can do it the right way. And we'll touch on that in a second. Some of these impacts, the main impacts, especially from an SEO side, are that keyword research and that content strategy. It's going to be more important to focus on semantic search and these topic clusters as a whole, rather than individual keywords. So here I wanted to show just, this idea of personalized AI search. So AI language models are changing how search engines understand, deliver content, which this results in more personalized searches or results based on, the user behavior, location, context, and a number of other factors. So the search query here for both of these is, what are the best supplements for men in their 30s? On the left-hand side is your traditional search. So I'm seeing product ads. On the right-hand side, I'm seeing my organic listings that people also ask. This is fine, right? However, if I, for me, I want to get this information right away, right? And I can, on the right-hand side, it's giving me that, or it's telling me that I should be taking multivitamins. I should be taking omega-3 fatty acids, vitamin D and zinc, and then another number of other supplements. And it also lists out the sources on the side. So this is just a quick, easy example that showcases the difference of having those personalized AI overviews versus those traditional results. You can play around with this yourself and figure out and see, what types of responses you get. And it's going to differ on queries. Not every single search query is going to pop up an AI overview. And some of them may show product ads, some of them may show these overviews. It's going to differ, but what it can do is, provide these more personalized results. It also means that the same search query may show different results for different users based on their location, based on, demographic factors, and a number of other things that can impact what exactly is going to show up. Another impact on SEO is that content generation optimization. This is I think a lot of people use this, and this is kind of one of the first things I think of when using ChatGPT or FruitGPT or any of these generative AI models. But AI tools can be used to suggest content topics, optimize for readability, and even auto generate text that is contextually relevant. As I mentioned previously, we take everything that AI says with a grain of salt. It's important to review it, to check it, to fact check it, double fact check it, and make sure that everything's correct. So on the left-hand side, this is a screenshot from our tool, FruitGPT. I uploaded a screenshot of our SEO services landing page on our website. And I said, please analyze the following text and provide suggestions to improve the copy's readability. As you can see, it provided some really good ideas of simplify the language, and it gave a couple of examples. Improve the clarity, improve engagement, some CTA options and suggestions. Some ideas of how to improve the visual hierarchy or design of the page. Some potential consistency issues with it. And yeah, so like one of these things are really great to use. You can take copy and paste your copy into it. You can take a full-length screenshot and upload these, and have AI analyze your page and determine how you can improve it. Like I mentioned, you want to double check these. You don't want to take them all at heart, but there's a lot of times it offers really good suggestions that you can improve on, and get closer to a better product. On the right-hand side, I expanded this. This is from the same text as, asking it, what are some content clusters around our SEO services that we could potentially, start writing about at fruition. And it provided keyword research, and then 3 subtopics of understanding keyword intent, long tail versus short tail, tools for keyword research, then on page, off page, technical SEO, local SEO, and a number of other things. There are a number of tools that are really effective. You have, obviously the ChatGPT and Gemini. FruitGPT is what we use in-house, and something that's really important, especially for businesses, is that FruitGPT is completely private. As I mentioned earlier, that large language models are trained off data, and then they're continuously learning from data. Anything that you add to Gemini, anything that you add to ChatGPT will be used and incorporated in the data. So just as a note, anything that's sensitive, you would not want to add to those public data sources, because they will be part of the training model going forward. How will an AI influence SEO landscape impact you? For SEOs, the role of SEO of the SEO professional is shifting from manual optimizations to more strategic oversight, using AI tools to guide decisions rather than doing all the heavy lifting ourselves. With the MLB playoffs kicking off right now, I like to use a baseball analogy. This is essentially like starting on second base. We're not there yet. We haven't scored, but we are so much closer, and it's way easier and more efficient for us to get that work done. For marketing professionals, the need to understand how AI can help tailor content and campaigns, integrating SEO with the broader digital marketing efforts to create these data-driven, cohesive campaigns and strategies. And then for individual business owners, they should be aware of how these changes impact their digital presence, and be prepared to either invest or look into tools that can help automate tasks and provide insights. Now kind of looking in some future trends and what to expect. Voice search and conversational queries are on the rise. Voice search has been, huge with AI assistants like Siri, Alexa, Google Assistant. Sorry, my Siri just popped up.
Doesn't look like you have an app named Google Assistant. You can search for it in the App Store. By the way, if you have another request, you don't need to say Siri.
Thank you, Siri. Very timely, right? So like I'm saying, though, voice search is on the rise, these conversational search queries. If you go back 10 years ago or something along those lines, you had to be very specific with what you were searching. You couldn't add too many words or you'd get not the best results, right? We can ask full questions now. Google and Google, other search engines and generative AI are smart enough to figure that out, right? So here's an example from one of my favorite shows, but there's this concept called the Pats, which is kind of confusing, right? So I was like, I was just on my phone, I was like, hey, can you please explain Attack on Titan Pats? I'm confused. I don't get it. It's able to provide this AI overview that, goes into detail of what this is. And, this is just one kind of elementary example, but, with AI, we're able to talk to it and interact with it like it's a human, but it's also going to provide us all this great information in theory. And now we're going to talk about using AI for that content personalization, right? So a few examples ago, we looked at, how through GPT would improve person's own SEO landing page. So let's say that we wanted to shift and wanted to market our SEO services exclusively towards startups and mom and pop type businesses. How can we personalize our content for this target market? And that's exactly what I added to that same chat after that. So, it comes back with, you want to emphasize higher affordability. So emphasize those cost-effective solutions and ROI to appeal to the budget conscious business, focus on growth, maybe use relatable language. So simplify some of the marketing jargon, which the marketing world is famous for. Share success stories of similar small businesses. We don't work with mom and pop shops. Typically we work with larger ones, but so, for us, if we wanted to go this route, want to feature more of those smaller type businesses, right? Providing personalized services, building trust, enhance accessibility, and creating that community. This is just one example. We have a home improvement client. They have businesses, or they have locations in Colorado. They have locations in Arizona. For us, we were able to develop this long, in-depth guide, and then using AI, we're able to tailor it to the Colorado homeowner versus the Arizona homeowner. And then we're getting specifics of, in Colorado, for example, hail damage. In Arizona, having energy efficiency and insulation, or being able to keep your house cool are very important. So just two examples of how you can use AI to help segment that and make it more personalized for your users, for your target audience. With AI, there's going to be a greater emphasis on context and that semantic search. We kind of looked at a few examples here, but in short, search engines are getting better at understanding context and the relationship between those words. So here was an example. I'm looking to transition into an SEO position, but I don't have any experience. What are the most important skills to learn? I'm able to ask that normal, very conversational question, right? And then I'm getting this overview where it's telling me that I should focus on link building, project management, communication, critical thinking, data analysis, keyword research and analysis. And then it's also providing some, some resources towards the right that I could look into further. This is a really, really good example. I would argue that link building is a little outdated, but that's just me. Point being though, you can communicate with search engines more like you're talking to a human. This means that, and going back to the keyword research thing, those individual keywords, it's still important, right? It's still a big part of what we do. We're still going to conduct keyword research. We still want to make sure that our title tags have the appropriate keyword, that we're utilizing a primary, secondary keyword throughout our copy, but it doesn't need to be this focus. We don't need to to shoehorn or to place these keywords all throughout our copy. We can write more natural, and let the search engines just understand our content better. So next, I want to go over some actionable strategies for SEOs, marketers, and business growth. Some quick wins, optimizing content in the age of AI, and enhancing that customer engagement. So some quick wins with AI-powered SEO tools. That content optimization. There's tools like Surfer SEO and ClearScope that help analyze top-ranking content, and they suggest optimizations to improve your content's performance. We use, we're a SEMrush partner. They have AI integrations as well with theirs. I'm sure Ahrefs and a number of all the, most of the big name players in the digital marketing tools and SEO space are integrating AI with them. You don't even need to have one of these tools. You can use ChatGPT, you can use FreeGPT, to help improve your content, give it, slice it up a little bit and make it more personalized towards your users, towards your audience and target buyer. Content generation with AI, use generative AI, for drafting blog posts, meta descriptions, social media and content. At Fruition, as I mentioned, we've developed FreeGPT, which is that private custom model that can be trained on your data. For example, we have clients where we've uploaded almost all of their blog content, brand and tone voice guides, and are able to create an initial draft that's so close and just needs a little bit of fine tuning versus something that's a little bit more generic. You can also put in, rules, so to speak, of, hey, we do not want to reference X, Y, or Z, or we don't want to use this language. So you can train it to make it very personalized and closer to what you really need. And then there's also, from a site audit and technical perspective, AI is super effective. At Fruition, for example, we've developed our own AI-powered tool called AI.Fruit. And using this, we're able to scan a client's website, identify images that are missing alt text, generate that SEO optimized alt text, and then have that pushed back to the websites. For example, writing alt tags is one of my least favorite things to do. My personal goal is to never write an alt tag again. And using this, we're able to do this at scale, right? You're able to say there was 100 images, that would take say at least 2 minutes an image if I'm thinking, if I'm working really efficiently, and then to upload it, that's, a few hours of work right there versus, 10 to 15 minutes of me just reviewing it, maybe updating a couple of them and then pushing it live. So, going back to that baseball analogy, using AI is starting on second base. And then for optimizing content in the age of AI, we want to focus on natural language and those question-based content. I think the term SEO optimized content, I think, is going to go away. We want to make sure that it's, optimized for humans, right? We want to write content that's informative, that's in-depth, that provides value to a user. And none of that has changed. That's been important in marketing and SEO for as long as can be. But it's even more important now. Creating fact pages, those frequently asked questions, optimizing for long tail keywords. So that's essentially anything over 3 or 4 keywords, just more of a question, right? And include that natural language phrases, is really important, can be really important for ranking effectively in an AI driven world. Next would be the use of structured data. So structured data, or commonly, or schema markup as it's commonly referred to, is little bits of code that are added to individual landing pages. There's schema markup called organization schema markup, local business, blog post, product, and there's hundreds and hundreds of types. Point being is that by adding that schema markup to your individual web page, it helps provide search engines with context of what it is. And then it also increases your chances of ranking for those featured snippets for both voice and normal search results. And then, create in-depth topic clusters. As I mentioned, blogging remains a valuable SEO tactic, but writing 300-400 word articles that are very basic is not going to be effective. By focusing on creating in-depth topic clusters, websites can further enhance their rankings and performance in search results. I want to give some practical steps for implementation and continuous improvement. So, first would be identify your needs. Start by identifying where AI can have the most impact. Is that creating content? Is that, helping with customer engagement? Is that helping with technical SEO? First looking at that and figuring out where you need help, and then determining what tools can be the most effective in getting that is a great first step. And then, on that note, test and iterate. AI tools are not a one size fits all. If you opened up GPT, Gemini, and ChatGPT and asked the same question, you would get 3 different results. They may be similar, they may be very different, but they're all a little bit different. They're all trained off different models. They have different data. So there's ones that may or may not work better for you. And also depending on what you're looking for. For example, if you were, really looking to work on, for code, like code or things of that nature, Microsoft's Copilot may be a little bit more effective than Jasper AI or something like that. And then, lastly would be monitoring AI's impact and staying agile. So there's tools, or you can do this manually, but, continuously track how AI-driven changes are impacting SEO and marketing efforts. So for one example, what we've done is, we've put in before, a little manual process, but, looking at some of our top ranking keywords for some of our clients, does that keyword have an AI overview? Yes or no? Are we included in that AI overview? Yes or no? Are we included in a feature snippet? Yes or no? Doing that allows you to figure out, what keywords are you going to be most impacted on? What's your chance of, ranking for that featured snippet? How, if you don't rank for that featured snippet, is it going to, is that really going to decrease your traffic over time? So looking at that can be really effective. Additionally, tools like SEMrush, tools like Ahrefs, those are, 2 of the gold standards in SEO at least. They've incorporated AI overview, SGE tracking into there. So for their individual keywords, if you were to plug in your website, or excuse me, if I was to plug in Fruition, I could see which keywords were ranking for, and then which keywords have an AI overview on them, and then over time able to look at that data and figure out, oh, okay, well, these went live in May of 2024. And after that, we saw an X% gain, or we saw a, X% decline. And then I really want to talk about this. So for context, I attended the MozCon through Moz SEO. It's one of the gold standard partners in the SEO world. They have this yearly conference where it's a complete nerd fest for SEOs. It's awesome. But point being, this was a topic that came up and it really resonated with me. It's garbage in, garbage out. Basically, you're going to get as good of results as you add into to search engine, or excuse me, to generative AI. Using detailed prompts is crucial because it helps guide the model to produce more accurate, relevant, and contextually accurate responses. So here's a really, kind of simple elementary example, but, please write a blog post about backcountry snowboarding. I'm sure it would get me, halfway to where I need. It'd require a lot of editing. It'd be very basic, probably. Whereas if we look at this, more advanced topic or more advanced prompts, you are an expert copywriter who writes detailed and thoughtful blog articles. You have an authoritative tone of voice. You have a conversational writing style. I'll give you a topic of an article. I want you to create an outline for this topic with a minimum of 10 headings and subheadings. I want you to expand on the English language. Please intersperse short and long sentences. Utilize uncommon terminology to enhance the originality of the content. Please format the content in professional format, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. This is just one example of, providing detail. Additionally, if say I was writing something for fruition, right? If I wanted to utilize AI for that, I could say, hey, this is we want to market this towards, healthcare industry. We want to market this towards, the home remodeling industry, providing information of who your target audience is. Let's say that, I want to look at, men and women in their 60s who are looking for supplements, who have been to the doctor or who do not go to the doctor often. So there's like ways that you can provide that and give more context to generative AI to get a better result. Lastly, staying informed and adapting. This landscape is rapidly evolving. It's important for us to stay up to date on the latest trends, test new strategies, and be willing to pivot. Things are changing, right? AI, for just using Google Gemini the Google SGE, for example, they launched and they were everywhere. And then you were seeing these results like putting glue on pizza and just objectively bad information, that was scaled back and then it's kind of scaling up again. So this is going to change a lot. Referencing that conference I referenced, one of the quotes was SEO has changed more in the last 18 months than it has in the last decade. Search engines are becoming more advanced, and it's going to be interesting. It's certainly interesting, but I want to provide a few resources here, and this is a non-exhaustive list of just places that you can find information. Fruition.net, obviously. We've got a blog, newsletter, great source of information. I have also my email at the end of this. If anyone has any one-off questions, I'd be happy to answer them. Search Engine Journal and Search Engine Land are two great online magazines that are just, not only SEO, but all things digital marketing. And really one of the things that I continually read on almost a daily basis. SEMrush and Ahrefs, which I previously mentioned, they have really informative blogs that I will find useful, and they put out new content, especially with their features. So if you were to use one of these tools, they have so many great walkthroughs and guides of how you can, use it and use it and leverage it to your benefit. And then I also have a number of SEOs or people in the AI SEO world. These are and linked here are their Twitters. So Lily Ray is an SEO strategy and research. She's also a vice president of an agency based in New York. Pretty much a figurehead in the SEO world. Has been a keynote speaker at numerous conferences over the last decade. Brittany Muller is a former Moz employee who now is an AI consultant. She lives and breathes AI, data, language models, and is a great follow. Half the things she said are a little over my head, but she has tons of information and case studies and things of that nature. John Mueller is a Google search employee. He's a Google search advocate is his technical title. John Mueller provides information on search algorithm updates. He provides information on SEOs. He'll dispel common SEO issues or rumors or things of that nature. And then Cyrus Shepard is another SEO growth consultant. He's a wonderful follow and someone that has provided me with a lot of information over the years. I highly recommend giving all these people a follow. And like I mentioned, this is a very non-exhaustive list. The SEO world has a number of really strong people that are continually updating, providing others with great information. And yeah, lastly, I wanted to open it up to, if there are any questions. And as I mentioned, my email is right there. So if you have if anything pops in your head later, I'd be happy to hop on a call or answer any questions.
Yeah, so if anybody has any questions, you could raise your hand, you could submit those. I've got it open, the Q&A, but right now we're not showing any open questions, so. We will be sending this deck out as well, so the links that Patrick was mentioning. We get a
Saw
question
Heather
about that.
raise her hand.
Let me have Heather, I'm gonna allow to talk if you want to go ahead and share your question, Heather. Oh, maybe she didn't have a question. All right. Well, if no one, I don't think anyone else has any other questions. Do you see? I'll make sure. No, I think we're good. So we'll go ahead and get this proposal deck out to everybody here. Thank you, Patrick, for the insights and walking everyone through just really what's happening with Google Search Generative Experience, SGE, and AI in general. We'll keep everybody informed of these topics going forward. And if we have another webinar, we will send out an invite, but we thank you for your time today and we will get this deck out to everybody. Thanks so much.
Thank you all.